View where she was asked like, "Oh, what would you have done differently?" She said nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Classic Democrat.
Shouldn't you have won?
Classic.
Frankly, I would have done that differently.
I feel like that for the past decade, the Democrats have realized they can just sort of scold people after they lose.
Yeah.
And not do anything.
Yeah.
All right, actually, this is one thing I want to ask. I want to go around the room and get what's your favorite liberal/Democrat take after they lost?
Oh, I have one. My favorite by
Yeah.
far is. Let me find the exact quote. No.
Yeah.
The liberal/Democrat take of the century for me has got to be treating the election as a victory on the grounds of Democrats claimed 4 Senate victories in 4 states that Trump won. That's the most Senate races lost in states won by the presidential winners party.
They needed
since
something.
2004.
That's not even that long ago.
Let me read that again. Democrats claimed 4 Senate victories in 4 states that Trump won. That's the most Senate races lost in states won by the presidential winners party since 2004. It's also very confusingly worded.
Yeah, I literally
this is what
read it
this
and I
is
have
literally
less
just
idea
grasping
what it
at
means.
straws.
Yes, exactly.
No, I think my favorite overall take was the immediate after-election mood when the narrative almost instantly snapped to minorities and people of color are simply too dumb to know what's good for them. And I saw that shit everywhere, and I was like, "What the what are you guys doing?"
Also, the weird scolding of black men in
yes, even though black men are the strongest demographic for the Democratic Party of any demographic,
specifically of any male demographic,
it's 92% for the Democrats.
So no, this time around it was 82%, and even still, that's super majority numbers.
Yes,
and it's been declining, but by 8 percentage points every 3 years.
That's the most any demographic swung for either party.
Yeah.
It's wild how I don't know. It feels weird, but if it's not 99%. Nah, fuck you guys.
Also saying Latino men are too misogynist to vote for a woman when 62% of men in Mexico voted for Claudia Sheinbaum.
Oh, right.
The first woman president of Mexico. 62% of men in Mexico voted for a woman.
And that's what men in Mexico.
Yeah.
Not Americanized Latinos or whatever they're complaining
Once
about.
they come to America,
honestly, Americanized Latinos, higher percent chance that they're more right-wing than the average Mexican.
I mean, I think
I've kind of described a liberal racism for quite a long time.
A mestizo peasant or factory worker in a car factory.
I've for a long time just kind of spoken
prime
about
demographic of the hammer and the sickle.
the whole liberal racism thing, but this election was insane for it.
Yeah.
It's chilling. We can delete shit. We can keep shit.
I didn't know if you had hit record yet.
Don't worry.
We've been recording for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even that long. Since I started talking about the election and brought up what's your favorite take. But yeah, it was all Latino men are just misogynists. And it's you're what are you saying right now?
62% of Mexican men voted for a Jewish woman to be president. And Claudia Sheinbaum won by a greater percentage point mark of the vote than AMLO did.
Sheinbaum would have done better if she just shifted to the right, though. I think that's that's what we've learned.
People don't realize the racism. Yeah, I guess so. When they say things like that, because I don't know. I guess they're not willing to cope with the fact that there's something deeper than Latino men don't like women.
Yeah, it's arch idealism.
Yeah,
it's literally the American election was decided by ideas.
Yeah,
bad ideas that infected black men or something.
And I'm this is also not to shit all over FD. I think definitively yes, racism and misogyny did play some part in this election, but saying it's the primary reason is very, very much underselling it, and I think the primary reason she lost is because she ran as Biden 2.0 when we were seeing in the summer before Biden dropped out that any generic Democrat did head and shoulders better than Biden.
We discussed the generic Democrat effect on this show before, and it is sort of like you shouldn't take those polls seriously because when someone thinks generic Democrat, they think Democrat who agrees with me. Not like an actual generic Democrat.
But like this specifically points out that like it wasn't like necessarily the Democratic Party that was doing bad, it was Biden.
It was Biden.
And Kamala ran as like basically as Biden's vice president, so you've already got that stuck to you. And she had a vice presidency that really wasn't much of anything, but that's also a lot of vice presidencies.
That's like the vice president doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Except like tie break in the Senate, and that's like an irrelevant job right
and
now.
And she didn't really gain a lot of attention as vice president, which again, like you said, it's like you generally don't as vice president. But then she also is like, oh, we're gonna stay the course. I'm gonna sail the ship of state exactly as Biden sailed it, and basically, what is it now? Like 49% of Americans were like, hell no.
Well,
because that's I think Trump's share of the vote now is like between like 49 and 50% of the popular vote.
I think he's the first Republican to win the popular vote since 2004, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think like the Democrats are both determined to offload responsibility and also pretend they won the moral victory. Yeah. Because then they don't actually have to introspect and change.
Yeah. That ties into like painting everyone who voted for Trump, regardless of whatever reason they might have done, as like racist or misogynist.
Yeah, it's because the Democratic Party couldn't have done anything different except to be racist.
Yeah.
It's there really is like something that I think people aren't paying attention to, which is everyone knows just like the, I guess, truism of just like, oh, when times get like tough, people trend towards the extremes. Yeah. And everyone just knows that, but it's like, what do we see now? It's like we had a generic run-of-the-mill candidate who did absolutely atrocious, and we have a guy who is like literally just practically a random number generator on who's getting tariffs. And he won. It's like they're doing the anything but here pick.
It was wild.
And I'm not saying that's the number one thing, but I think people really discount the just change anything.
Yeah, like the Milei, like how Milei won in Argentina. Yeah. But everyone being like, actually, we don't agree with Milei, but we'll do anything but Peronism right now.
Anything but Peronism or like a generic right, Argentine right, because like the country is like has not been able to recover since like 2015, and we want something to change. And this, at least for them, unfortunately, the something they got was like over 50% of people are now in poverty in Argentina. Yeah. Like Milei is like common Twitter joke of Milei speed running communism by like heightening contradictions as much as possible,
and then furthering the crisis of capitalism. Historically progressive, Javier Milei.
Oh wait! It's so insane how he won when he was like talking up Margaret Thatcher in Argentina. Right. Like, how do you still win the presidency after saying "I love Margaret Thatcher"?
This is some old news, but I believe Milei, our candidate of freedom, was rounding up his political enemies and stuff like that pretty hard. There's like a month
that's just how South American governments work.
But honestly, look,
doing it. Look, I approve.
Commie Milei, all right. This time he's stalling. We're back. Yeah. All right. Milei, our boy, stays winning.
Say less. Man, it was wild how bad the election loss was. Like people were calling it. I thought it'd be called when I woke up. But they were calling it before I went to bed. Like
they were calling it when we left the election.
Yeah, like it was so wild.
Yeah,
like,
we didn't stream it. We had an election party here where we're recording right now. Yeah, and like we were watching it. It was like Virginia is swinging right and shit like that. We're like, all right,
this shit's over.
Yeah. Speaking of
it's
Pennsylvania.
Jover.
Yeah. Speaking of Pennsylvania, I'm gonna tie this back. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm tired of Taylor Swift. I'm glad her tour. When's the last one?
Eras tour. Is it next week?
No,
I'm glad it's gonna be over.
No, it's over.
Like
in Toronto.
December in Vancouver. It's the last day.
Okay,
but it's already over in Toronto.
Spencer was asking me about Kendrick Lamar's album. Yeah, and it's like not his best album. Like in terms of like depth, but still. The best thing you've heard this year, and God, it fucking sucks to see like so much like Eras shit. When the tickets are sold out, I'm so confused. The tickets are sold out, and they paid a guy to sit there and display it, to like project it on the TIFF building. I don't understand. Anyway, so
it's about the Taylor Swift brand.
Yeah,
it's not about actually selling tickets to Eras Tour.
I'm sick of her. She's done. It's over. Like it's like we're talking about real music now. Pennsylvania lost because of her. If she did,
yes, because if she, I think. I was about to say,
Nana's
I think
going
she's
to be like targeted by like
I
half
don't
of the
give
people
a
in our
fuck
group.
about the Swifties. I'm bagging a Swiftie.
I think
right
my secret Taylor Swift conspiracy theory is that she wanted Trump to win, even though she endorsed Harris. And
that's crazy.
That's because I think, pretty sure she lives in a deep red state, even though she also has a house in Pennsylvania. So she was voting in like
deep
Tennessee.
red Pennsylvania.
She was voting in like she was voting in like Tennessee or some shit, like some deep red state.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Taylor Swift was doing like vote fraud.
No,
voting in multiple states.
No. She could vote in Pennsylvania, or I think it's either Kentucky or Tennessee or something like that. It's like a deep
so
red
her
state.
vote doesn't count.
Yeah,
for
her vote doesn't count. And if she was in Pennsylvania, she could have done an effective voting drive. Because honestly, it's like a swing state, and she could probably mobilize a bunch of Swifties to go out and vote.
100%. There's one thing I can't deny is like the community aspect of this shit is beautiful. You know, people are just making bracelets for the fuck of it. Yeah. It's wasteful as hell, but you know, it's fun. I made a little bracelet with Emily, but like people are just doing it just cause. Imagine if she said, "Yo, I'm gonna need like
I'm buying 400 school buses."
I'm busing Californians into
I'm buying 2,000 school buses. I'm loading up Swifties from every blue state and bringing them to Pennsylvania.
Yes. No,
I am declaring a people's war on Donald Trump.
I thought you were saying we're starting in Toronto and we were going to ship voters down. We were going to cross the border and swing the election.
I mean, she could have probably literally bussed in voters from around. I don't know if Pennsylvania's a voter ID state or not. But, it's more along the lines of like she could have mobilized a stronger showing for the Democrats in Pennsylvania if she wanted to.
Yeah. And I don't think she has to even do the busing thing. Like all she has to do is say like, "Yo, I'm gonna be at this if you're voting." That's it. That's it. Like people are showing up to just take pictures of her car moving. Yeah. It was crazy. All right. Anyway, Pennsylvania lost. Let's move on to the election.
All right. Kendrick Lamar dropped an album. All right. Taylor Swift is in town. I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're hitting some of those Democrat, the minority men be misogynists. All right, a white woman is speaking. Right? A white woman is speaking. Listen and learn.
Well, actually, there's some news relevant to things we've said on this podcast before. We were saying that Trudeau should date Taylor Swift.
We were.
He was spotted at the Eras Tour show.
Wait, how old
he was.
He's like 52.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is what?
35.
What's half of 50? 26?
26?
All right. 26 plus 7. All right.
Wait, actually, Taylor Swift likes 32? To date way down in age. Now that I'm thinking.
She's like isn't she Travis
she
Kelce
dated a
still
couple
together?
Teenage boys, I think, when she was an adult.
Oh, wow. She's like a Leo DiCaprio of her age.
Isn't she still dating Travis Kelce?
Yes. She is, yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to that
and hopefully she continues to date him so the Chiefs...
I mean, she's dating down in some ways because it seems like Travis Kelce is dumb as a bag of rocks. So she's dating someone who's as smart as a 15-year-old.
Yeah, an underdeveloped
So
brain.
she's keeping up.
You know what's crazy is
she's happy. If she's good, I think she's happy with that.
One thing that's crazy is that before Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce basically only dated black women.
I saw that.
So
I saw
made
that.
him switch sides.
She either made him switch or there's some going on here.
And then they called the fade the Travis Kelce haircut. Oh my god, people were heated. Holy shit.
I did not hear that.
You did? Oh my god.
That was on the New York Times. Like, the fake New York Times, that's my friend.
The failing New York Times.
The New York Crimes.
The New York Crimes, damn. I haven't heard that one.
It has never been a worse time to be the mainstream media. Holy shit, these guys do nothing but they're printing L's as fast as they can.
How do children keep dying in Gaza? We don't know.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I have a ton of this on my Amsterdam video. What was it? The New York... No, I was doing the CBC reporting on... Well, I guess everyone who's listening has already heard this. I did a CBC reporting on the Amsterdam-Israeli football match. And how everyone was just instantly, it's misogynist attacks.
You mean anti-Semitic attacks?
What do they say?
Misogynistic attacks would be crazy.
Yeah, it was
misogynistic attacks is your average
Swift
football
is in my
hooliganism.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I was just like, this is the alarming thing about this was I opened up an article that was like, football fans are doing anti-Semitic attacks, and I didn't believe it. And I was like, really?
You can
Like,
tell
this
me
is the
anything,
most believable
Yeah, you can tell
thing.
me anything about European soccer fans, and I would believe it.
There's whole clubs. There's whole clubs that would show up and be anti-Semitic the whole game.
Yeah, they're like in Britain. They're
Yeah.
like in the north. There are clubs that are polarized around being Nazis or around being communists.
Yeah.
Like for like local clubs.
Yeah, there was like this one Glasgow club that played against Roma Juventus,
Yeah.
and like one of the things they did in the game was unveil a giant banner of Mussolini hung up in Milan. Because like Roma Juventus is a really famous fascist club.
Yeah,
or has a lot of fascist ultras.
Yeah. I have a hour plus
And
long breakdown of this, but the fact that there were like footballers in Europe doing anti-Semitic attacks, the first thought I had was, I don't buy this. Realizing, why don't I believe this? Like, this is the most believable story in history. And then being right was like pretty crazy. But one of the chants that it turns out all the attacks were by the Israeli,
and they were using
Tel Aviv fans.
Yeah.
And one of the chants was, why are there no schools in Gaza? Because there are no more children.
Wow.
Which was, they were just chanting that, and they called them they were singing some slogans that Arabic people might not like. And it's like, no, the slogan is "We killed all the children." Like, that's not a slogan, dog. That's not a slogan.
And then you hear, I don't know if this was in Ontario, but there was a Arabic song played on the
okay.
On the
I saw that.
Oh my god, there's a communist soccer club in Israel.
What? God, this bad.
Hapoel Tel Aviv. The first winners of the Asia Club Championships. Hapoel Tel Aviv's ultras wave red flags with marks on them. The club name means the worker, and the club's emblem has a sickle and a man wielding a red hammer. They also put Che Guevara on all their shit.
They have Che Guevara shirts.
This is why I will never give up my belief that there is such a thing as a labor aristocracy.
They are. It is the headquarters of Israel's National Trade Union Center. It is the most popular team amongst Arabs living in Israel.
Okay, I rescind my comments. The only workers in Israel are Arabs. And I'm not talking about Yemeni Jewish Arabs.
Yeah.
Those guys all vote for Likud.
But yeah, there was an Arabic thing playing on the PA system. Was it in Toronto?
No, it was in, I think somewhere in Greater Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
It was a Remembrance Day ceremony, and it was a Arabic song. I think the English translation of the title is "This is Peace," or something.
It was just peace. It was the most peace this, peace that.
And it's kind of vaguely affiliated with the Palestinian liberation struggle, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure.
Wait,
the
struggle,
song, the
struggle
song,
as in
fuck Israel.
We want
Palestinian. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, people heard Arabic and then got scared.
Yeah.
And then reported to their parents.
Yeah, and then the National Socialist Post got all over it.
Man, I was reading a National Post article today about the bike lanes, and how the fuck is this a newspaper? It's literally just this politician said that the bike lanes are good for the road, but we don't think so, and this politician is a piece of shit, garbage, fake activist. I'm what do you... this is a newspaper?
Was this an op-ed or a...
almost certainly,
yeah. Because
but
I think even
all the Napo is.
Even when you read something that isn't a op-ed from the National Socialist Post, just treat it as an op-ed, because that's the quality of journalism they do at that fucking rag.
It's absolute garbage.
It is it's only it's only popular because it's the premier right wing newspaper in the country.
That takes itself seriously. Unlike the Sun.
The Sun.
The Sun. So the Sun, I haven't figured out some cutesy Nazi nickname for yet. But like I'm brainstorming like the sun and rise.
You have to be able to do
the
something
black
with Japan.
sun.
Yeah.
Do something with Japan with that.
The rising sun.
Yeah, the rising sun.
Toronto's rising sun.
Yeah.
No, but because like,
do they still have sun girls?
I don't know.
No,
but like the sun is like so
the
racist.
sun used to have like a naked woman just in it.
Yeah.
Like there was like a pinup like poster they would distribute with the newspaper. It used to be way trashier.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like tabloid.
Okay, that's like that makes it like the premier lumpen paper.
Yeah,
Toronto.
exactly.
The rising sun, bring that shit back. Bring back the old rising sun.
Yeah.
Tariffs. Oh yeah. Anyways.
Wait. Sorry. We should finish the election coverage. I forgot. So
yeah. Oh, I was gonna finish hating on Kendrick Lamar coverage.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Look, Kendrick Lamar's album.
Wait, you hate the album?
It was good. It was a good album. I'm gonna say that. I'll say that I like thoroughly enjoyed the album. I have no I can't comprehend people coming out saying that this is the best album of the year in a year with Rich Ass Haitian. All right, and that's not even the second best album. This isn't even like it's the second best. I'm saying like
I'm gonna go ahead
Kendrick
and
Lamar's album. I'm chucking it like 20.
A black man is saying.
A black man is speaking. Listen.
All right. A future black woman is speaking. Listen and learn.
No, Rich Ass Asian is.
Me and Spencer's playing the trans man.
I can't choose. I can't.
Okay, but
slipping estrogen.
But
into
I gotta say,
food.
number one song in the Kenny album has to be the song where he was playing a Tupac beat and also rapping exactly like Tupac.
Yeah.
So
the
but like that's
about...
I don't know. I still can't like. Not that I dislike the song. The song fucking slaps.
Yeah.
But it's still like Kendrick Lamar as Tupac, you know?
I mean, talking about like so he uses four people if you count like him talk like rapping like Tupac, and like describes like their rise to fame and like how their vices caused them to die.
Yeah.
And then it brings that to himself in the third verse, and I'm Kendrick Lamar and this is how my vices, and talks about it and shit like that. I don't think like the Tupac aspect is like just one of that, like here are one of those people. He talks about Billie Holiday. I don't know who that first person with the guitar is, but like Billie Holiday, Tupac, and then one other person.
Probably Bob Dylan.
Maybe.
Actually, I wouldn't be sure. Bob Dylan would somehow fit.
No, he said R&B. He said I was an R&B god or some shit like that. But anyway.
What song was it on?
Reincarnated.
Yeah, Reincarnated.
Let me fact check this real quick. Jamie, pull that up.
So actually the reason I think this album is the best of the year is because like there's a movement kind of happening in rap right now. It's kind of led by Kendrick of self-introspection on like what does it mean to be a rapper, like does it mean to rap a certain way, and like how does it affect the people around us. And I think we've never seen anything like that in any genre before. And I think that's what makes it like I think this album kind of crowns it, like this album describing this movement makes it the best of the year. But like just this whole thing makes rap the most interesting thing, and that's what makes me pissed off at Taylor Swift. That's it. Okay. For me, I found there was a lot of stuff like what's the one song where I was literally just I had to double check to make sure that they didn't dig up the corpse of Draco the Ruler to get him to rap one more verse, and it's not actually him. Like they had another guy, but there were a lot of songs like that where I felt like it was, I guess, more like mixtapey than a kind of. It was, like you said, it's a little less coherent. Not coherent, but I think you know what I'm trying to get at. Not a lot of depth. Yeah, it's not like all his albums have whole concepts to it. Like
and like themes and all of that. Which
this one is just
have a sonic theme.
Yeah, it's just split. There's just this theme just like sprinkled throughout. It's not. So I get why it might not be someone. It's not a lot of people's favorite album of Kendrick's, but
there's also what's the GNX,
yeah.
GNX. The title track.
Yeah.
I gotta say it. I thought it was ass. I thought it was ass.
Yeah, no one likes it. Holy shit! I'm sorry.
I guess it's pretty good. The last 40-second verse right there. There's something about it. I'm just like, it really feels like someone puts a friend on and you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. Or when like the Griselda guys start putting their kids on rap songs and you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. This person clearly just does not have it yet.
So
like,
okay,
it's not bad, but
here's the thing. I think like if you go to LA or if you go to anywhere out west at this moment, like that song makes sense there. And that's another thing. Like rap is getting regional again, and it's amazing. Like he's making a song that's like that, like people only West can understand, really. Or if you like listen to like 90s or 80s like hip hop, because there's a lot of that like.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in there, and he's bringing it back. I understand why you don't like it.
Look, and also, like, I'm never going to Cook California.
I mean, you don't have to go to Compton, but
Compton.
But yeah, I think, and he also has like there's gang members on that album who are currently beefing. Yeah, and like he put them on like songs on the same album together. Yeah. And so it's like
Kendrick is living the dream of a suburban white guy who's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Chirac and get them to rap on the same tracks together and solve the world.
Yeah. Actually. So like, I'm sorry, Tyler the Creator. Enough of that gay album. It's done. It's done. It's over. The gays got it. It's done. Yeah. We're listening to.
I'm sick of that fruit.
We're listening to real rap.
Oh, okay. No, I'm good with that. Because this is again. I remember Tyler the Creator at the last fucking like for the Igor. Yeah. He was like, this isn't like rap. This isn't the black people music category. I'm doing experimental shit. This was another album like that. All right.
Yeah, Tyler the Creator.
We're listening to rap.
Yeah. Tyler the Creator. I think he's complained about being lumped as a rapper.
Yeah.
His, like whole career.
Yeah, but enough of Tyler. Enough of Taylor. Yeah. Anyone else?
Who starts with a T?
Anyone else can pack up and move to Afghanistan for all I care. Move to Gaza and fight in the war. That's the only way to redeem yourself.
Fight for Hamas.
Yes, exactly.
Every California gang member moves to Gaza. Holy moly.
Just see like random Compton gang members in those Hamas videos where they're smoking IDF people.
Black Israelites go there and do Black Israel.
Some Crips guys firing RPGs at a Merkaba.
I forgot about that.
Black Hebrew Israelites are going to go there and fuck the whole game up. Black Hebrew Israelites versus Nation of Islam. Yeah. Nation of Islam in Palestine. Black Hebrew Israelites in Israel.
I've never thought of that.
Thinking about the Nation of Islam, all right? They're not a fan of gay people, right?
No.
Of course.
How the fuck do they get away with their like standing military arm being called the fruits of Islam?
Also, the fact that they all wear like they're all super clean cut and wear bow ties all the time.
Yeah. They're kind of fruity as
I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh man, the Nation of Islam versus the Black Israelites is like Kendrick's Lamar dark. I don't even know which one is dark and like it's a yin and yang because he is a Black Israelite and like he does have Nation of Islam like takes sometimes. Yeah. And I don't want to know what his beliefs are. I just want him to rap.
No. We should do an episode on this.
Black Hebrew Israelites, Israel. Give them Israel. Yeah. Palestine, give it to the Nation of Islam. Yeah. Right? They'll just keep doing the conflict between them. We'll see. Okay. They'll fight it out as a proxy.
And then we'll found Israel in New York.
Yeah. Where it should have been.
Where it should have been. Either that or like Eastern Poland.
Yeah.
And then New York can get like another boom phase of something going on as opposed to whatever the hell they're doing now. Which is like, you can't even be like an art hoe in New York anymore. You need a Raytheon dad.
You can still be an art hoe if you live in Brooklyn.
Maybe.
Okay.
Anyways,
this is Brooklyn though. Everything fucking weird in that city's in Brooklyn.
I've never been. I would love to go though.
Manhattan is now just exclusively rich people. Like you can't be poor and live in Manhattan.
To go to New York. It is like one of the sickest cities.
That's cool. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
We should record a New York episode. Get ready
we
for a
New York episode.
You know what we should do is we should send a letter to someone in New York. Oh wait, we can't. because of the impending Canadian Union of Postal Workers strike.
Impending? It's been here for 2 weeks.
And I didn't even get to bring in, this is the first time I've been very curious about Kendrick's specific political takes.
Kendrick, what do you think of the CUPW's recent statement, Canada Post misinformation?
Bailing us out.
Kendrick, do you stand with the workers?
Yeah.
No. His answer is no. That's my guess.
All right, so everybody, as being a pretty much commie podcast here.
Pretty much.
It's
because we only have one communist member.
We have only one real communist.
What? I thought Dan was a member.
Yeah, he's also a member.
Yeah, but he doesn't have my specific ideology.
And he's like the one who does stuff with the party.
Right.
I'm trying. I put an
splitters.
application.
The revisionists.
The people handing out leaflets.
But look,
Trotskyite activity.
Those adventurists and etc.
You would think that we would have to back the Canada Post workers on this strike because we stand up for the workers.
Right.
But there's another type of worker here that is not getting represented, and it's the elves in Santa's workshop, and they're not getting their goddamn letters because these selfish workers have gone on strike.
Why don't I cover the strike, like the demands?
Right.
And then we'll talk about the insane media reaction.
Yeah. This might be the worst media reaction I've ever seen.
We also have like 2 weeks worth of media takes we can dig through now.
Yeah.
So, negotiations between the government and between the government and CUPW broke down, and that's because the CUPW wants the following things, and the government was inflexible on them. They wanted wage increases in line with inflation. They wanted to eliminate the gigifying, and this was actually the biggest issue, was the gigifying of Canada Post. Apparently what Canada Post has been doing is, in order to avoid having to pay out benefits,
money,
wages. Well, not just wages. Like they pay these people like they do like normal postal workers, but they don't qualify for any of the benefits or auxiliary stuff because they assign them only 8 hours per week. So the CUPW pointed out that to get the 1,000 hours to have enough seniority to get the benefits that Canada Post provides, you'd have to work for 2.5 years in one of these part-time positions before you would actually get any of the benefits.
This was the dream of Keynes, all right? Yeah. Keynes said they'd have 15-hour work weeks, and guess what? We have 8-hour work weeks. Why are they so upset?
I work once a week. Have a Keynesian parcel delivery job.
There's a bunch of other stuff they want to do, like classic union stuff, like expand break times, coverage of all absences, paid meal times. Not everyone has paid meal times in Canada Post, so they want to eliminate that. Job security, that's a classic union demand. They're worried about technological change, but they didn't actually specify what they meant by that. I assume, they already do actually use some AI features and have since like the early 2000s actually, digit recognition for
probably
postal
gonna
codes.
Happen
if I fuck it up. That's good to know.
What's going to happen is they're going to use all the space that isn't filled with packages in their cars to mine crypto using AI. All right, and that's what people are really scared.
You're gonna walk in your local post office. It's gonna be like 30 degrees Celsius in there, and like behind the door, there's just like 35 servers.
This is how they're finally gonna start heating the vehicles in the winter. Because they're mining crypto.
And what they're asking for makes sense. Like
specifically the gig thing.
Like
that's the one I've heard a lot about, and there's like a lot of like the gig thing, and a lot of people who are like pretty precarious. Like I think there was like one guy I heard from that he was like, even though I've worked at Canada Post for almost a decade now, I haven't had a single Christmas off.
It's a government job. It's supposed to be a little cushy. Right?
It's a government job. You're supposed to have like 3 days off a week.
For all the people saying they don't work hard enough,
50.
like shut your ass up and get a government job. Frankly, that's the dream. Like you're supposed to want a cushy job, so you go to a government. Or you're supposed to sit there and be like, listen here, liberal, and then you go into contract.
Are people saying like they don't work hard enough?
A lot of people. That's what people say all the time. But frankly, the post office in any country might be the hardest working government department anywhere, except maybe like tax and revenue.
Right.
Because you're busy like harassing poor people for paying like $1 less than they were supposed to.
Yeah, Canada Post is like flying like bush planes out to northern Nunavut to like deliver packages and shit.
Yeah. Also, frankly,
the guys in alert gotta get their Amazon packages.
For all the places that don't just factor shipping straight into their prices, like they still offer you like you can pay for this shipping or this shipping or this shipping. Mm-hmm. Every single time, Canada Post is like half the price of everything else.
Yeah.
It shows up. I'll do like Canada Post just. Whatever option is, just get here whenever you get around to it, you know? Always shows up in 2 days. Like, they are the best. Yeah. They fucking rock, alright? I'm a Canada Post head.
Yeah. Admittedly, like, Amazon has, like, the next day delivery, but you don't really get that without doing some, like, fucking satanic black magic. Of, like, worker abuse.
Well, they do like predictive distribution. Like, they're like, oh, people in Toronto are probably going to buy 1,000 phone covers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then, so they just pre-ship everything.
Because they have, like, warehouses everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, the rarer items you're probably not going to get right then, but, like, usually, like, more common stuff and, like, more popular to moderately popular items of any sorts they usually have close
stuff
by.
that's like non-perishable. They can often be like, this will be purchased once or twice a year in this location, so you might as well have 1 or 2 inventory items there.
1,000 people are about to order how to blow up an Amazon shipping pipeline.
Okay, but also, so the union has complained that Canada Post, the company, the Crown Corporation, has been distributing misinformation about the negotiations. They had to release a statement that was like, Canada Post is just straight up lying to the media about how the negotiations are going. For example, the Canada Post released a statement accusing CUPW of leaving a meeting that they did not actually leave. They also said that they were unwilling to talk about one particular employer demand that had actually been brought up dozens of times in bargaining already.
Yeah. Did they like show meeting notes or something?
They just released a blanket statement with like a PDF. I don't know if that includes the minutes or not, but
that'd be pretty insane if they dropped the minutes.
Yeah. I assume because it's still like in negotiation, they can't drop the minutes or something. But they're also talking about like we know the internal operations of the company. Like we represent everyone except the executives. So like we know you're lying about not being able to finance stuff without making without us having to make concessions.
So that's like a fucking Crown Corporation. You have unlimited money. That's like any government like entity has just unlimited money.
So good luck to them. But this has been a strike I've seen the most sort of insane media response towards.
Remember I sent you the dog influencer?
Yes, I've seen a bunch of things where it was like, I think Shrey sent to the chat one where it was like, this influencer who sends postcards to old people is unable to send postcards because of the Canada Post.
I've never heard of in my life. All of a sudden.
There was a CTV news headline that was like, pup influencer unable to send personalized holiday greeting cards to dozens of fans.
Fucking kill yourself.
There was also an op-ed.
Dozens of them.
There was an op-ed posted. There was an op-ed article in National Post that was like, privatize Canada Post and we won't have to deal with this anymore. It's like, if you privatize Canada Post,
no one in Brandon, Manitoba will ever get mail again.
No one will be able to live north of the tree line. Because like they handle a lot of logistics stuff there.
Is that the goal? Does that seem to be the goal with this? Like,
well, I mean, I don't think the government's goal is to privatize Canada Post. But of course the insane ideologues at National Post want that to happen.
Do you think the Conservatives would want that?
Give it enough time and maybe. But I feel like they mostly
would say they want it.
Yeah, I think they're
I
mostly
feel like Canada Post, they might triangulate like, it's probably not a good idea. Like we might lose some rural support if we do this.
The government, like the Conservative government, would realize they would lose everything. They would lose every single northern rural voter. Permanently.
I mean, they already don't have.
Like, they don't get much, but there would be no hope.
Because pretty much most rural northern voters are either Liberal or NDP.
But
depending on
also
whether or not you,
anyone who has family in the north, would then never vote conservative. Like, they would still have their, like, holdouts theoretically, but it would be too much of a disaster.
I don't think they would do it just because I don't think it's a popular position to privatize the Canada Post.
And, like, really, like, I mean, even if, like, you're, like, some hardcore Thatcherite, like, cost-benefit analysis here in terms of, like, one, it might not be winning you a lot of votes, too, like, is this worth it in the end? Especially Canada, because we're, like, paranoid about, like, Arctic sovereignty, and so we kind of need support infrastructure to maintain people in the north, so that we're like, we own this land because we have citizens living here.
I mean, it's kind of the perfect thing to culture war about endlessly, being something that will never go away because it can't be privatized, but can always be like an idea for the like Friedmanites who just want to privatize everything.
I mean, but also like, as the state exists to protect bourgeois interests, Canada Post does facilitate a lot of intercorporate communication.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like...
So it could never actually happen.
They can't actually let Canada Post fall apart like that.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they would probably quite soon regret it.
Yeah. So that's the Canada Post stuff.
Santa's not getting letters.
Yeah.
No kids are going to get the gifts they want
Fuck
because
them
Santa's
kids.
not getting the letters. The elves, the true lumpen of the world, are just grinding.
No, they're not lumpen.
Actually,
they're
proletariat.
They're literally proletarian.
Actually, they're slaves.
Yeah. They're just slaves.
They're slaves, and therefore not proletarian.
Yeah.
Well, they're industrial slaves.
They're industrial slaves. True.
They're like the slaves that were owned by like Southern corporations during the Civil War. Like the one that was making steel in Birmingham with slave labor.
Yeah, they're the slaves that would like willingly take up arms for the Confederacy. I think.
that never happened. Never happened. I'm not going to allow neo-Confederate propaganda here, but that never happened.
Yeah, but the elves would do that.
Maybe he hasn't changed.
They're all sort of. They've all got the mentality of sort of house slaves.
Yeah, you know I'm right. You're just hating.
True. They do have comparatively cushy
sort of like
indoor factory jobs.
Engels would call them like slave aristocracy.
I can't imagine what an American Maoist would call them.
Yeah. Elves with 2 S's.
Or elves just with a $sign for the S.
Yeah.
Oh my! Wait, did you see the fucking thing I sent you of like that Calvin Coolidge, anti-Calvin Coolidge campaign thing, where like some dude was like the first person to invent Maoist standard English? It's like anti-Calvin Coolidge.
Well, the KKK was actually a massive political issue in the 1920s. In the US.
But it's like this guy who hates Calvin Coolidge straight up created Maoist standard English.
I love like Americans using Maoist standard English, be like KKK, KKK, KKK. Banger of a post right there. Hey, what other articles do we even have?
I have 2 more articles to cover before we.
Did I have any articles to cover?
The Cybertruck, Trump tariffs.
Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, we're getting smacked with some tariffs.
Yeah.
So this was what Canada and Mexico are theoretically going to have 25% tariffs instead of 10% now.
Yeah.
And China would get an additional 10%, which I'm not sure if that's like on their already tariff stuff or 10% straight or 10% on top of the 25%. And I'm not sure if he knows either. Yeah. But that theoretically means 35% tariffs on everything in China. And given that it would be absolutely hysterical to watch the GDP of America crater by 35% in half an hour.
Trump also like positioned it like he doesn't realize that Canadians don't pay the import tariff.
Well, we're not.
It's American companies.
Well, the trick is that he's going to put tariffs on Canada, and China's going to pay for it, or Mexico's going to pay for it. Right?
Bro, you're the one importing the goods.
There's like I don't know. There's a chance for like Trudeau to like respond like in kind. Like I don't know. They are kind of tap dancing around it, but the Mexican president like already put out a statement that was just like, nah, I'm not gonna like pussyfoot around this guy kind of thing. Yeah. And China has already made like preparations like during the first Trump administration, like they have a list of companies who they're like ready to blacklist as soon as like they get hit with the tariffs. Intel being one of them. Like if Intel gets fucked, I feel like it's because they've already been like collaborating with the Biden governments to like get some kind of like leeway because they got hammered by Nvidia from the AI. Well, I guess they don't really do GPUs, but they got hammered from AMD for their chips. Apple doesn't use Intel anymore. No one uses Intel. Like no one cares about Intel anymore, and they're getting smashed. And so like they depend on China's market a lot. I think like that, like China just like saying like, okay, Intel, we're not gonna do anything with you. It would be disastrous. And I think that would actually make like Intel like a democratic company now. They would be like, fuck.
I mean, they're all democratic companies and they're all Republican companies.
I mean, but in the sense that like they can directly tie like any sort of like they can tie like any crisis to Trump and then any kind of like a non-crisis to the Biden administration.
Yeah. So the thing is, you mentioned about President Sheinbaum's comments.
Yeah.
Specifically, she announced that they would like basically their plan was to impose tariffs specifically on like products from like American swing states.
Whoa.
That might vote again, like that might produce like a shift in like the midterms.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like literally like we're gonna try and get you to lose the House in midterms, and then like I guess there's also some behind the scenes shit because like Trump made either a Truth Social or a tweet that was like, I had a very productive conversation with President Sheinbaum. We're working hard on the border and on drug dealing.
Oh my god!
Like
Doug Ford is crying right now.
Holy crap! It's incredible to see a country on this fucking continent run by someone who can do their goddamn job.
Yeah.
And by like an administration that can do their job.
It's so, like I didn't even think about that. Imagine Trump in that conversation, hearing that for the first time. Like, I feel like his heart would drop. Like damn, that's really good. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
And then Doug Ford is crying about a family member stabbing him in the back. I swear, America does not think of you like that. Like,
talk about a family member stabbing you in the back, motherfucker. I could have used my Bloor Street bike lanes today. You stabbed me, motherfucker. You stabbed me.
Well, you were gonna vote for him.
Yeah.
No one using the Bloor Lane bike lanes.
Whomst among us here?
Yeah.
Among us.
Among us.
No one using the Bloor bike lanes was gonna vote for him anyways.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like
mostly like just Hitlerian suburbanites.
Yeah. The anti-Bloor bike lane protest was a miss because there's an inherent disdain for cyclists that you're not just gonna kumbaya away when you go and do these kind of protests. Like people, if you want to like actually get people like to be against this, you go and say like Doug Ford is spending your money on a new fucking highway or and it's the same bill.
I don't know. I don't think you'd convince car brains that to be anti-Doug Ford by saying he's building a new highway.
If you got people to vote for this, it would not pass.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
Spencer,
convinced this is not popular. This is not something that is financially like no one cares, and that's the reason it was done the way it was done. I'm going to talk a lot more about Bill 212 on another one of my own videos.
Yeah.
But like this was done entirely anti-democratically because Doug probably got stuck in traffic one day.
Okay.
Like that's what this is.
Liam actually knows the real reason it was.
That's true. That's true.
So, first of all, Spencer, you're going to have to bleep me when I say this.
Right.
But if the cyclists really wanted to do some effective protest, they would.
Yes, they would. All right.
Do some protracted people's war on the provincial government.
Let's retract more stuff. Does anyone know how to make? All right. Think about this. A little.
Okay, but the way to anti-tank my.
Spencer, I think you'll need to bleep that too.
Yeah, you make it look like a little bit of like a decroded piece.
I don't know. I think it would be more effective if you did that in the entirety. Smack a Doug Ford sticker on and said that says I
Doug
did
Ford
that.
sticker that says I did that with
that. All right, we have to get back on track because I can't talk about for that
protracted
long.
People's war on the floor.
We'll wrap around to this when we're drinking later.
Yeah.
Anyways, if we're gonna go drinking later, we're gonna be at a restaurant.
Oh no!
And
my god!
When we get the bill, there's gonna be a tax on that bill.
Tax? No, there won't.
Oh, that's right. The government is announcing
GST holiday.
GST holiday. That's right. All I want for Christmas is to pay 13% less on necessaries and luxury expenditures, including toys and restaurant expenses.
There's gonna be no GST on video games, guys.
Look, this podcast is tiny. All right, this podcast is tiny. We make nothing but a toonie. All right, Brian Mulroney gave us this crazy GST, so we're finally fighting back against one of the appendages of Brian Mulroney. Is that the right word?
Legacies?
Yeah, one of Brian Mulroney's legacies.
Appendages would be his fingers or his...
So just like his corpse-like fingers from beyond the grave.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. So we found a way to make it work. But yeah, we're finally staking it to him.
So this bill was part of a sort of a relief plan for Canadians struggling with affordability. So it was originally going to include a provision that would also give $250 to anyone making less than 150 Canadian dollars a year, which is 19 million people.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a decent number of people. You thinking, Spencer?
I'm thinking
really hard.
All right, perfect. I had to recalibrate for a second. I was a Canada is Toronto sell for a second.
Okay.
And I was like, isn't that like 60%? And then I remembered that I was missing a zero.
So, about 20 million people will be affected by this. Would have received a $250 check, but the NDP made the Liberals split this off into a separate bill. The main reasons were they didn't want it shut down in case this bill didn't pass for some reason, and also they wanted the coverage expanded further to also include the elderly, the disabled, and injured workers.
Okay.
Does this include like emotionally or spiritually? I might have a claim here.
So, I mean, even though I'm kind of a current NDP hater, it seems that ever since they've dropped the Liberals, they've had a bit more lateral movement here.
Yeah.
Like, this was kind of impressive to, like, wring out of them.
Yeah, exactly. It was... The NDP have much more leverage over the Liberals when they're not an automatic vote for everything button.
Yeah.
So, the GST bill has already passed and will be in effect until February 15th, 2025.
For the entire time I'm employed.
Yeah. The Conservatives in the Bloc are on record as opposing this. It passed with Liberal and NDP support. Poilievre's take on it was that it was a, quote, temporary 2-month tax trick. He loves alliteration.
Poilievre being pro-taxes is like...
Okay, this seems like it was a political misstep. We'd have to get Trey on for more analysis, but it does seem like this is like maybe the one thing the Liberals could have done in like a year that people would have liked.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me channel Shrey for a second. Yeah. All right, let me lock in. I'm getting in Shrey's mind.
You know, we can just like
You're
ring
suddenly...
All right, I got it.
4 feet tall.
Shrey's probably thinking right now, wherever he is, and because he's not in the episode, he might not be thinking about exactly what we're talking about. He's probably thinking, fuck, I miss Charlie Angus so much.
Yeah, you can just guess that at any.
We could also just get Shrey to record his thoughts and like we could splice it in after.
So this tax break will cost an estimated $1.6 billion in revenue. That might also be why Poilievre doesn't like it. I was talking to Nana before you guys got here. My take on this is...
Wait, you got here first?
Yeah.
I was talking to a girl right outside his door for like 10 minutes.
Classic Spencer.
My take on this is that if you go to a restaurant during this GST holiday, you will still be charged a 13% tax. And the restaurant owners will just pocket it and hope that no one notices.
That's going to happen.
I mean, that is like average small business owner.
That behavior. Like the effectiveness of this, regardless of whether or not like it's a good idea, and like if people don't know, what's the point, right? Like if people don't know that, like
I feel like people know, but you're just gonna forget when you're paying a bill that you're not supposed to be paying taxes right now.
So, I mean, like, small business owners already do that kind of shit with their employees' tips.
Yeah. Small business owners are, like, evil, so that's the thing.
Are taxes going up after...
That's a good question, because the NDP wants GST done away with permanently.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something
It's like a pretty popular thing.
Look at our sock dams. Look at our song.
They say that
they're scared of taxes. There might be a fake country.
Their issue is that according to them, GST is a regressive tax because most GST revenue comes from necessary purchases like food, clothes, that sort of thing.
Which is fair.
What Paulie Evra says is that he wants GST removed only for home buying purchases.
So he wants to inflate house prices.
Dog,
Tax the tax.
Dog, look at my conservatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the greatest commitment to reducing house prices in Canada right there.
So they'll be voting on the $250 check at
You're
some
never
point in
moving
the
out of this
future.
place, buddy. You're never buying a house.
No,
Yeah.
at some point I feel like
I've never moved out of my parents' house.
At
I'm
some point
inheriting
around
that.
our age, you kind of start making your peace with renting for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Alright, look, I'm 25, right? People in previous generations would be sitting there and they'd have some savings or be doing whatever, playing their cards and thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's time to look for a house, or maybe I'll ask my parents to help with a down payment and start buying a house. I'm 25. I'm putting away some savings, and all buying a house isn't even an idea that comes across my mind.
Not even
it's a joke.
It's not a day to it's not a day to day thought. It's not a week to week thought. It's not a month to month thought. Once in every 3 months, it'd be nice to have our own place, huh?
Yeah, when I put money aside to save, I'm not oh, this is gonna help me save for a house. I'm ooh, I might be able to buy a unicycle. Or
Spencer's
there's a lot I
addicted to
could do
little
with
treats.
this.
Yeah.
It could be for vacations or stuff like that. But no, I
$3.30.
fully. Look, 20.
actually think I know.
Mid-20s white boy with a podcast, and I'm fully just you know what? I'm living in my mom's basement. That I am not moving out. Love my mom, no hate for my mom. I'm living in this basement, and
Inherit the
this
house.
is what it is. Yeah, there's no other hope.
Anyways, the $250 check program, if it passed, unadjusted, would be a $4.7 billion expenditure and cash flush into the economy.
That's free.
The economists have warned that unless offset by tax increases, this will cause further inflation pressure.
Oh, okay, sweet. So they've already actually said
pretty much, because you're just basically saying hey, people just start spending money.
Yeah,
it will increase consumption.
Yeah.
Okay, is it a one-time $200?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, what are you talking about? It's a one-time $200 payment?
One-time $200, I can buy McDonald's 3 times.
What?
Wait, sorry, I missed that. The federal government's also giving us $200.
No, okay. So the bill originally included a $250 check and the holiday.
So am I getting that check then?
No, the NDP made the Liberals take it out because they were worried the bill wouldn't pass if it was left in.
Okay.
They wanted voted on separately, and they wanted it amended to have more coverage, cover more people.
Yeah,
Okay.
they wanted to give it to all old people.
All
no
old people,
else.
anyone who's injured on the job, and then also I think disabled people, anyone who's registered as disabled.
But no one else?
No, but also the threshold for the check is you have to make less than $150K a year.
Okay, that is me.
Yeah, so
I keep collecting Trudeau Bucks.
Yeah.
So I am just living off of tax schemes.
So if the bill passes, because it hasn't been voted yet, and it's not on the floor yet, everyone in this room will receive $250, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, he's got my vote.
With $250, I could go to McDonald's
And buy 3
Twice.
Big Macs.
11 times, maybe.
That's the thing.
How much do you spend at McDonald's when you go?
I'm not the smallest guy.
Let's hit some real meat and potatoes podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your standard McDonald's order?
Well, okay, here's the thing.
We're
is
slowly
that-
becoming Americanized now. You're imagine a burger.
Here's the thing: is that
We're trying to expand.
What's your favorite McDonald's Canada order?
Big Arch Burger.
I just get a Big Mac.
Big Mac, Big Arch. Is that a combo with fries?
Yes, and a Coke.
And a Coke.
And I usually get a brownie cookie with it if I can.
A brownie cookie.
Well,
I get a sausage McMuffin.
Interesting.
I never
all day breakfast.
Oh, is that right? I only go there around 9. I didn't know that.
Well, actually, no. I think they removed that.
Yeah,
because of COVID.
Yeah. But I never.
Oh my god!
I was never a fan
Fireball
of
in the Walmart.
Yeah.
Look, my McDonald's order changed to the Big Arch, but that's like a promotional item, right? It's not here forever, and it hasn't been here. Well, it's been here for a while now, but it's a pretty tasty burger. It's a pretty tasty burger. But now
Big Arch is
it's an actual burger.
Whoa, we're so
Big Arch is the first permanent menu edition.
Thank you,
since
Trudeau. I love you, Trudeau.
Wait. It's an actual thing. I thought it was like some joke Spencer made.
No, it's like a thicker patty McDonald's burger.
Okay, and it's
just like a Big Mac was like in the fucking 80s, because like Big Macs now are just like a half the size of what they used to be.
Yeah, so
Big
shrinkflation.
Also, Big Arch doesn't have a club, which is like the weird like
the
middle bun.
Bread?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the Big Arch is like 2 jumbo Big Mac patties, bunch of cheese, lettuce, onions, Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I also thought that the Big Arch thing was like some elaborate foot fetish joke Spencer was making.
So it's just like I keep ordering Big Arch at McDonald's are getting banned.
He's like, hey girl, show me those big arches.
Yeah.
You know
I pull up to the drive-thru and I like put a girl on.
You guys ever seen the put a girl on?
Can I get those
bits?
arches?
Oh,
Drive-thru on a unicycle, put a girl on.
Oh man.
Did you see like people started showing up at Taco Bell's like in mobs demanding to see a girl?
What?
This is why I think all service workers should be allowed to be armed. Open carry.
So
customers are like animals.
A
video
for one and shot at
No, fire them in the crowd.
a video.
You should be allowed to kill one or two of them.
A TikTok guy went viral because his whole bit was he would call his local Taco Bell and then like just get them on the phone through any means necessary. And then once he had their full attention, he'd switch to a deep voice and go, "Put a girl on." Put a girl on. And that's all he'd say for the rest of the call.
Oh my god.
So, and then people like started showing up at Taco Bell's demanding to see a girl. Like in person.
Oh my god.
This is what happened when you never meet a girl in real life.
Yeah.
Put a girl on.
Put a girl on. I'll
But
play it. Let's watch a clip and then I'll play a clip in the
Yeah, let me
recording.
Let me just pull up a.
If I can stop stuttering.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys are still doing open interviews this week?
You know what I'll do? I'll call up General Manager. She'll be here tomorrow morning between 8 and 6. I will call me between 8 and 10 a.m. in the
Put a
morning.
girl on.
Put a girl on the line again. Every night. It's just like, why is this happening, bro? Like, it's a grown man.